Hello and welcome to Ageless Rock channel. In this video, we are going to visit a small village in Gulagat district of Askare province. It is called Saratli village. Cappadocia region is famous for its 200 underground cities, and Kirkgoz underground city is one of them. Cappadocia region in Turkey has been carved out by nature for millions of years. It is famous for its natural formation known as fairy chimney. A lot of volcanic activities have shaped the mountainous region since Pliocene epoch. The fauna and flora of 5 million years ago is so different from today, but we still can roughly guess the animals and plants based on skeletal remains and fossils trapped in the tufaceous bedrock. However, when it comes to a plethora of underground cities, we are at a loss as to who created them. The idea that they were once an underground hiding place is just an archaeological guess without evidence. So let's check out Kirkgoz underground city and see if we can solve any of the mysteries. The first settlement of this town is unknown. The history of Kirkgoz is mostly lost, but we know it existed during the Byzantine period. Cappadocia region is generally 1000 meters above sea level. It is cold during winter. Anyone planning to build a house to keep them warm during winter will want doors and windows with hinges so that they can open and close easily. It would be strange to think that planning an underground settlement as porous as cheese without proper doors at every entrance is a great idea, especially during winter. If you visit this site during summer, you will be naturally too awe-inspired to ask what it is like during winter. Take away all the constructions of later civilization, and you will see that the original entrance is invitingly wide open with no plans to play hide and seek with the enemies. There are 21 rooms spread over 640 square meters of area within these 3 levels of underground labyrinth. The rooms are oddly shaped rectangles and ovals. It is said that some were used as barns, storage area and kitchen. While everyone is filled with amazement, I have to wonder why the opening is oddly shaped wide, without stone door and without intention to make it unnoticeable. The underground cities are full of dangerous holes in random size and location. Without light, someone will injure or even die every week trying to live like a small community of villagers. But yet, it is obvious there is no plan to put torches or lamps, and no supply of oil for lamps seems to be around. Vertical tunnels are generally labeled as ventilation shafts, but it seems like there are 2 types of ventilation shafts. The first type are the oddly shaped that seems like something a burrowing animal would do. If humans were to do this, he is most likely probably drunk. The second type are those that look like a high-tech machine that goes down with precision. If it is man-made, it is hard to imagine how the ancient people did it. We are actually just guessing what all these vertical tunnels are for. If there is water, it is a well. Today, it has money. People invest in blessings. By flipping a coin, we bet that there is a possibility something good will happen. What have you got to lose if you flick a dime for a chance to fulfill your dream? But 1,000 years from now, after wars and cataclysm, archaeologists might say this was a temple where devotees made offerings. As for the garbages, they were burning materials. Try and imagine you are tasked to continue this vertical tunnel as ventilation shaft. It is very narrow and you have to chisel under your feet by squatting. Someone on the top will have to haul the rubble up. You have to measure it is a perfect 90-degree angle and absolutely straight down so that it looks nice. At the end of your 8-hour shift, you have to climb back up like a spider. The motivation for doing this is for the future, where someone else might need the underground city. I am not sure what is this. Looks like a well, but the perfect round hole is dangerously done. Doesn't look like you can afford to slip and fall into. In my previous video on San Mercurius underground city, I shared this photo where there are two circular stones which are mysterious to me. You can check it out on my video under Turkey playlist. One is supposed to block a tunnel from incoming enemies, while the other acts like a cover for a well. If there is a smoking gun, that round stone is not a door, it will be this one. It is circular and has an extra large round hole in the middle. It is so big it has iron grill to prevent anyone from falling into. It looks like it is blocking a vertical shaft rather than a horizontal tunnel. Even more bizarre is this photo that seems to show the making of a circular stone. This is not even a remote idea of how humans would start making a circular stone. This method of carving a niche to get a circular stone is out of this world. I am imagining a round hole in the middle is probably for lifting it off the bedrock when it is done. To prove that this whole thing is just beyond our human capability is the striations on the wall. If this is tool marks left by humans at any timeline of our invention history, we would have known what tool was used. They are long and pretty deep cuts. I would imagine something done to a surface when it was soft like clay. This round hole is about slightly less than a foot in diameter. It looks like it is about 4 to 6 feet deep. I am not sure if it is a chamber or a tunnel below or where it leads to. It is known as a toilet, but that will raise other questions if this is a toilet. I wonder if there is any waste evidence to prove that. It is a winding path with lots of ups and downs navigating the labyrinth to get here. How ridiculous it would be to place a toilet in a location like this. Even more strange is that this is an open concept of doing private business. Was the ancient users a bunch of open-minded people where they can just download once a day every day until the enemies are gone? Another logic of inconvenience is that whoever needs to let go must carry a bucket of water. Otherwise, there will be food poisoning in the kitchen. I think we are just trying to imagine what this or that chamber or niche is for, and probably less than 1% can be imagined with assumptions, while 99% will have to just wait for the unknown ancient builders to show us what they are for. Let's go back to one of my videos on Cave 14 of Ellora Caves in India. It has two circular structures clearly embedded on the floor. It looks like something unfinished projects would leave behind. Could this be a melt and mold technology where the bedrock was soft like wet clay and the middle hole is actually meant for lifting the stone when done? Could these three unfinished circular structures left by the unknown ancient megalithic builders on the bedrock floor be a clue to a civilization so different from us that we will never know what it is and who they are? I am very sure these are evidences of someone else was here first. This round stone seems to have already blocked the tunnel, so the enemies cannot come inside. That means the tourist with the torchlight is safe in this room. If he wants to go out, all he needs to do is to roll the stone to the left. Does it sound like something is wrong with the picture? If the tourist is outside with enemies chasing him, he should be trying to go into the tunnel and the round stone is on the wrong side. But I think this labyrinth is like cheese. You can go from anywhere to anywhere and nowhere is safe because you have circular stones. This circular stone is not very useful leaning on the wall inside a great room. No one is safer in this great room because you have a stone door. It is obvious to me that later civilization came along and made many modifications and restorations to fit whatever they think is useful to them at that time. The original builders remain unknown and unknowable because they are far too advanced in that timeline. The unknown ancient builders made halls and rooms in random width and height in the dark and never seemed to need light. If they do, their source of light is most likely not in the form of fire that produces soot. It seems to me that the unknown ancient builders had little need to worry about safety. That is why the tunnels are randomly vertical and horizontal. The builders are also different in size. That is why the tunnels and chambers are randomly big and small. If you roam around Saratli village, you will conclude that the underground settlement is not meant for hiding because the civilization that did this has the ability to slice the bedrock like clay into a cliff. It seems like the tunnels and chambers were already there and is now exposed because it was sliced off. Try and imagine a sliced cheese exposing the internal cavities. Around this area, there is an exposed part of the cliff with lots of niches. No one can explain the need for these despite the fact that so much bedrock was removed. It is not something humans would do if there is no benefit. It is just like those niches in bell caves of Israel, where it is believed to be for rearing pigeons for eggs and meat production. But I wonder how the eggs and nests can stay in the niches if they are sloped towards you. In China, those niches in Longmen grottos have carvings of Buddha. I have a video on this site, you can check it out under China playlist. I think megalithic culture gave us religion. In Petra of Jordan, we have no explanation for these niches nicely carved in rows and columns. We just call them columbarium. How about the underground system of Oviedo in Italy? It is also believed to be for pigeon eggs and meat, but I think this is far too much work for tiny pigeon eggs and meat. What are the odds that such architecture around the world is basically unknown to us as far as purpose is concerned? They are not easy to do and we should be able to know what they are for because they were used by humans. But yet we can only guess what they are for because they were not used by humans. So, in your next skiing vacation, don't forget to check out what is under your feet after you ski down from the icy slopes. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this short presentation on Kirkgoz underground city where tunnels below and niches above are still mysteries to be solved. See you in the next video and have a wonderful day. This is Berniong signing out. Sonra Guru Surus Gule Gule.